I'm Bastien.
And I'm Caitlin.
And welcome to Wine About That. Today we're going to talk about
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Directed by
Guillermo del Toro.
Perfect. So, very interesting movie. It's made in claymation, I should say. So, stop motion made with clay, like the Chicken Run movie or Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, Wallace and Gromit. I forgot about those movies. Oh my god.
So that's the same way. It has been made the same way.
Oh my gosh, that's
I think so. It's claymation, but like it looks pretty like.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you start because I think there's a lot to talk about. So before starting, like just everything, I'm going to say I did a little bit of research because when I watched the movie, I've been extremely confused about the original story of Pinocchio. So Guillermo del Toro's brought his own vision of Pinocchio. The original Pinocchio was from the 1800s, 90, something like that.
Yeah,
so
it was a really old story.
It was a whole story, and it was like it was not as deep and dark as the Guillermo del Toro's version. So
naturally,
just that aside, let's get started.
Yeah, I loved it. I really liked this movie. It was really beautiful to me, and I really loved the development and the story behind each character and how he developed in the beginning of like why, he created Pinocchio and like the grief behind like losing a child. I think it was it was more of like an adult movie because of that, because you have this grief-stricken father who just cannot pick himself up, and he's like in the movie drinking himself to death, which, knowing Pinocchio growing up, like that was never included in the children's movie. But you see this man in this movie like drinking himself, like,
which once again is it's the very own vision of Guillermo.
Oh no, of course,
it is not the original story.
Yeah, but knowing these characters, like growing up and stuff, and seeing them in a different light like that, as a mother also actually, and like seeing this guy like very depressed and sad, understandably, he angrily makes this character that he eventually falls deeply in love with, which is really endearing. And this character also takes care of him too, which I find really special and sweet. And I don't know, I really like this movie. I love Pan's Labyrinth, that he did like years and years back. And there are certain parts of this movie that kind of remind me slightly of that, Pan's Labyrinth. I was like, sometimes throughout the movie, I was a little bit like, okay, like it's like dragging on a bit. But overall, I really loved it, and I think it's really well done. And I think he had a really, really nice vision and like a really cool, like I said, development on the story.
Yeah, so
that was a long-winded ansser, but yeah, I like.
No, I think it's great.
Much.
I mean,
we're here
to talk and whine about it. So.
Yes. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I really like his style. I really do, and I love like, I don't know. I'm a very tender lady, so anything about like sadness and like losing a child and stuff, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on it if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I really think it's a very dark story. Guillermo del Toro, like you said in Pan's Labyrinth, is really into the World War II.
Yeah.
And he plays this Pinocchio's version during the Second World War. And that brings a lot of darkness. And basically that's the beginning of the movie, so there's not much spoil. Like, the son of Geppetto works with him, and he gets killed under bombs. Yeah. And they are in Italy, which is very accurate with the origin of Pinocchio, which is from Italy. And it's literally under the reign of Mussolini. Mussolini, who was on the Hitler side. And so Geppetto, like she said, is like depressed. He's like, he doesn't know what to do in his life, and then
he's lost. He sits by his son's grave like every day and he's sleeping by it. He's drinking bottle after bottle. He's like speaking gibberish.
But I think he cuts the tree, right?
Yeah, he gets like mad all of a sudden.
He gets super mad. He cuts the tree, and that's how Pinocchio comes from the tree that grew where his son has been buried, whatever. So that's kind of like a nice way to bring Pinocchio. I do personally think that this Pinocchio looks scary to me.
Yeah,
He looks kind of
Yeah.
like, he's frightening. It's
mean-
not a reassuring Pinocchio. I would be frightened to have that wooden Pinocchio as a child, because I really do believe that he is not really appealing to me. He's kind of like scary.
Yeah.
And even though, I mean, that's the sort of Pinocchio. Pinocchio is kind of like, ignorant, sassy, and, like he wants to do what he wants because he's a child,
Yeah.
But this one brought so much darkness because he's going to encounter like a very bad characters that want to exploit him or wants to enroll him in the army or stuff like that. And so...
Because he doesn't die. I mean, he dies, but he comes back, so...
There's this whole story about
you'd be a strong soldier.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be a perfect example of like what a strong soldier would be.
Yeah, there's this kind of like meta world where
Yeah.
Pinocchio is connected with this kind of god, and every time he's gonna die, he's gonna have to stay longer in this like god area.
So there's more likely bad things to happen in the real world while he's away.
And also he might like miss some time with his dad, and so like I said, the original story of Pinocchio is kind of very respected. The storyline, the story arc, if you have been even the Disney movie, it's
The
like
whale,
really,
like it's all.
it's really respected. It's all there, but it's really just dark. I will not show this movie to children, I think, below 8-10 years old that does not understand good and bad very much because it's really dark.
Yeah. That's why I said it's more of like an adult film.
Yeah, I was kind of very surprised. I was just the way we watch it's like really like we were chill. Oh, let's watch Pinocchio, whatever. It's
we
gonna
had
be
dinner.
cool.
We had some
and it was
Szechuan food. We were like in a happy
I don't know.
mood.
It was just like
Our vibe was very different after we finished.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I will not say it was a happily surprise. It was just surprising to my taste. So. Yeah, but the way it's made is amazing.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro, direction is also amazing. It's also like Mark Gustafson is also at the directing part, so it was kind of a combination with Guillermo del Toro, but like the title is Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio, so
like you kind of know with the title going in that it's going to be pretty dark and wacky, obviously, because like, that's what he's known for, is like his kind of like abstract artistic way of...
And most of the time I love Guillermo del Toro's movie.
I love his work
sometime
so much.
I'm a bit disappointed.
Really?
But sometimes he's going a bit like he did this like I think Pacific Rim whatever like movie like this robot whatever. I never understood this choice.
Oh my god, you're right. I forgot about that.
But he did the Shape of Water, which was like one of the most beautiful movies.
That movie's so good. I love that.
It's a poem. But so back to Pinocchio. I think it's definitely not for children. Don't be misled by that. I know it's on Netflix, and you can find it like that, and you can feel it's a family movie. I would say if you're a parent, watch it before and see if it's if it's gonna fit your children's taste. Like I said, I'm a bit unsure about my rating on this one because I've been quite surprised, but not happily surprised by this Pinocchio.
You've been jaded.
But like
I
said,
jaded.
like I said, it's nicely done. It's just like
Not what
I just
expected.
remember too much and love too much. Maybe the Disney Pinocchio, which is one of the Disney I watched the most when I was a child.
Boy, and he's like a super cute character with his little like yellow overalls or whatever he's wearing.
Yeah.
His little like hat.
I don't know. I guess I grew up too much with the Pinocchio from Disney, which I watched.
I will agree
10,000 times.
Yeah, I will agree that the Pinocchio character in this movie was like pretty.
I just like struggle with the artistic choice.
But I think he did it
Pinocchio.
purposely because he's like the dude's making this character out of a literal tree, so it's not going to look like adorable and like rounded. It's going to look.
No,
like
I know, but
wood.
and that's my point. It's when like a fable like Pinocchio gets almost too serious. And
that's true.
And the message is kind of like
you should just create a different.
The message is not lost, but like, I mean,
it becomes so much more than what
that's
it
my
was.
point. Like the dad, like when they when he is losing his son, like they did shape this beautiful like Jesus on the cross. So he could have made also, like in the cartoon, like a beautiful, or at least well better made, kind of like human shape, whatever, wooden, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my perception. I'm not completely fan of the look of this Pinocchio. However, the movie is amazingly made. The animation is beautiful. I love the colors. It's really vibrant yet very dark. So I love this dimension. I think that was well made. I like the historic time he brought in. It had, I would say, more depth to the story.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and more context because
After that's maybe what I was completely expecting from it. So
yeah,
go for your rating.
So my rating is like an 8.
Okay.
Like a nice 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just liked it. It was cool. It was good. It was heady.
I mean, it's excellent. 8 is
heady.
excellent for me.
I definitely like wanted to go cuddle my daughter like right away.
Yeah.
Because I'm so sensitive. When literally any movie with a child dying, it is like so difficult for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, makes sense, but like, yeah. So, what about you?
I was really hesitating if I wanted to give it a 7. But I think I will go for a 6.5. It's still a good notation. I just think it's really dark for a story like Pinocchio. 6.5 because it's not a movie that I will want to watch at any given time. Yeah. I think I will have to be in a great mood. I will have to, explain to the people I'm going to watch this movie with, like, be ready. It is not the happily Pinocchio that you always known. It starts dark, it continues dark, and it ends a bit brighter, like the original Pinocchio. But yeah, I think a 6.5. Once again, nicely done, beautifully made, but it's also pretty long. I think we forgot to say. I think it's a 2-hour movie.
2
so
hours,
yeah,
and like for a story like that, I think it was a little too long. That's what I meant. Like at some points earlier when I said that, kind of dragging on a little bit. But overall, like it was great to me.
So 8 on your side, which is amazing rating. A 6.5 on mine.
Yeah.
Once again, it was the watch. Do not misunderstand that.
Yeah.
6.5 is still good to me. So
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
perfect.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share this video. We really appreciate it. We get some nice feedback from our friends and other viewers and such. So, yeah.
We will just say see you next Friday.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I am Bastian.
No. Okay. Hold on.